Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a bit of a different video to normal. It was inspired by a tweet that I read saying that people don't acknowledge their privilege enough, and everyone wants to feel like they're self-made and, you know, I started from nothing, I did it on my own, I'm not supported by my parents, I've made it on my own and I've worked really hard. And while that is true, that tweet really resonated with me, and I thought, I have a lot of privilege and I wanted to, I guess, do a kind of gratitude video about how thankful I am, mostly to my parents, for the kind of often not recognized things that they've done for me and that I was born into to get me to where I am today. So I hope this is going to be just a nice gratitude video and encourage you to think a bit more about how lucky you are to be in the position you're in and whether there's anything you can do to help people who weren't born into that position of privilege. Because if you don't recognize your privilege, then it doesn't occur to you to help people who don't have it. You think maybe they're lazy or maybe they're bad with money or something like that, but actually there's probably a lot you can do, and there's probably a lot that you were just given, even if you don't really want to admit it because you want to feel like you're self-made and you did it all on your own. So obviously, on a macro scale, I was born into the UK, which is a rich, developed country. I am white, I'm blonde, life tends to be pretty easy for me, possibly because of those factors. I'm at least not male, so that's one less privilege point, but I do feel very grateful that I was born into the UK. I have a British passport, I speak English. I can't imagine trying to function in such an international world in a second language, having to know English to be able to get a lot of jobs or be able to work online. And then in terms of my family, my parents have never really had to financially support me as an adult. I don't turn to them for loans, or they don't pay my rent or anything like that. But while I was at university, they were paying my rent, which meant that I didn't have to work in like a restaurant or whatever in the summer. I could spend the time working on really interesting internships. I did an internship in London, which I would not have been able to do because it was unpaid unless my parents were paying my rent. So I'm very fortunate that they have financially supported me in ways like that. I also have never paid rent when I've been living at home in the past. So even when I was working full-time for a few months, my parents didn't charge me any rent, and that makes a huge difference because it means that I've been able to build up a lot of savings, which gave me the confidence to quit everything that I was doing and move to Thailand and become a nomad, and here I am now loving it and very financially successful. So the fact that they didn't actually give me money doesn't mean that I did it all on my own. And also it's given me a good relationship with money because I never worried about money in our family. It was always something that was like under control. So I have, I think, quite a detached relationship with money. I don't worry about where it's going to come from and how I'm going to pay my bills, which means that I can take on risk quite readily. I know a lot of people who worry a lot more about money. They have a lot of insecurity. Even if they've got thousands in the bank in savings, they still worry that what if the worst case scenario, that wouldn't be enough money. So I have a very healthy risk relationship with money because I've been raised in such a secure financial environment, and I think that is a huge advantage for moving forward, starting businesses, having the confidence to take the leap and become a nomad. Of course, they also raised me with a lot of confidence, willingness to speak to new people. I love doing presentations. I'm very secure in my own strengths and weaknesses. I'm generally a confident and happy person, and that is entirely down to parenting and therefore down to privilege. And the more that I meet people or my friends are going through mental illness or insecurity or depression, it makes me think I'm so thankful that I don't have to deal with those things on a daily basis, because it must be so all-consuming and such a hindrance to you being able to focus on things like pushing forward your business. So I'm really trying to support those people, and it makes me reflect on how grateful I am that my family was a secure environment and they raised me as a confident person who believed that I could do anything, because how hard can it be? And I think that's a very fortunate mindset to have been raised with. Also, as well as some financial support, have given me a lot of personal support and advice. They've been very, very supportive of me traveling. In fact, it's pretty much been their idea, and even when I was young and we were a family, we would travel a lot to some pretty far-flung places. In fact, when I was about 9, they took me to Australia and Peru at about 14. I mean, it was amazing. We traveled a lot as a family, and it means they've been very supportive now of me traveling so much. And I'm in a Facebook group of female travelers around the world, and quite often they say that their parents are really afraid of them traveling or very anti-travel because they think it's expensive or they think it's dangerous. And I think it would be much harder to leave my home country if my parents were telling me that it was dangerous or scary or they don't support me doing it. So definitely travel, but also entrepreneurship. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so they've been really supportive of me trying out my own thing, and they don't tell me that I should get a job for a stable income, any of that. So there's so many ways that they support me aside from financially, and I'm really thankful for that. Finally is the network of people that I have, either extended from my family, like family friends or business contacts that they have, and also I went to a very good grammar school and then a very good university. So that opens so many doors of people that I can approach. And when I look back at my nomad journey, when I quit my job and was trying to pick up freelance work, I knew that I'd be able to find some work because I'm sure someone will know someone who will want to hire me. And I think actually in hindsight, that was a very privileged mindset that I just thought, yeah, someone will hire me. And at the time I thought, oh, it's just confidence, you just have to back yourself. But actually I think it's also because I knew I had access to this big network of people who were running businesses or had money that they could spare to take a risk on a new freelancer like me. And I knew that I had a network of people I could call on to get clients and to get work. So I think having that network makes a huge difference to your confidence to start new things and therefore your ability to succeed. And I don't know if this entirely counts as privilege, but I'm also so thankful that I don't have chronic illnesses or difficulties with my body. Of course, we all have the odd twinges and we get sick occasionally, but some of my friends who are dealing with chronic pain, I really feel for them. It must be so challenging to take on big scary things like travel or starting a business if you also have these underlying issues to deal with. So I'm constantly thankful that my body is healthy, and it's definitely a source of gratitude for me. So I hope that you enjoyed that video. I know it's a bit abstract, but I just wanted to do a little bit of gratitude and an acknowledgement of the privilege that I have come from and start to recognize that more in my daily life so that I can be thankful, but also so that I can be more forgiving or helpful for people who haven't come from the same position. So I would love to know in the comments if you feel like you've come from a position of privilege, if you think I'm just being crazy and overanalyzing, and if you're a YouTuber, maybe you'll even make a video about it as well. I would love to hear from you guys. So if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to do that before you leave, and I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!